Well, our final division of the week, the NFC East, as we give it the off-season odd treatment. FPI has given each team a chance to win their division, in large part given what they've done in the off-season. So we're working off last year's standings. This is how it finished up. We'll start at the bottom and work our way up. FPI has 12% for the Washington Redskins. Ryan Clark, what say you?
I think they have a little better chance. We're going to give them
right then
15%. You know, we look at this team, defensively, they struggled down the middle of the field. DJ Swearinger actually just came out and said he was watching film of the Washington Redskins last year, he and Tony Jefferson, and they said they knew one of them would end up being the starting safety for the Washington Redskins this year. They've also moved Sewell Cravens to the safety position, and you know they have lost some pieces offensively, but I think Kirk Cousins will find ways to spread the ball around. You got guys like Jamison Crowder, Jordan Reed, and with Kirk emerging as a true starting quarterback in this league, I give him a little better chance than 12%.
You know, when we go through the NFC East and we look at the relative parity, I think that we're going to see, it just, I think, again, underscores how difficult the AFC East when there's just almost no way. Lewis, what about you?
Yeah, I think that's a great point, Wendy. That these teams are all on the up and up, and I'm going to stick with 15% as well. And I'll just talk about the offensive side of the ball because that's where obviously a lot of the discussion is on that side with Kirk Cousins. But the guy who I want to talk about really is Terrell Pryor, who I think is going to be one of those players who in free agency this year as a veteran is going to be on an absolute mission. And that mission is to show the Cleveland Browns that they should have shown him more respect and signed him to a long-term deal before he got to Washington, and then Washington wouldn't let him leave. Washington right now is tickled to death that they got a guy there who was angry, who feels disrespected, and they do have some other weapons. They do have Jamison Crowder. Josh Dotson is going to be healthy this year. And Kirk Cousins, as much as he's already proven, he's another guy who still has a lot to prove. If they can get the defensive side of the ball right, this division is going to be nice from top to bottom.
All right, the Eagles, FPI 19%, too high, too low. Ryan?
I think it's a little bit too high, and I believe that they have improved. Obviously, Carson Wentz has a very good rookie season. Now you add Alshon Jeffrey to the outside to give him another weapon. I still think they needed to do some things defensively, especially at the cornerback position, which they didn't address. So I don't think that they're as high as the FPI has them ranked.
All right,
I'm with Ryan right here. We're in lockstep.
Okay, you guys sit around and
great. We didn't actually conspire on this one. We just kind of did this kind of organically. I love that word, organically.
You
know what? I use that a lot.
And you use it a lot.
See how Wendy points out things like that? You know what? The person who I want to talk about here is LeGarrette Blount. Because really, I think when you look at Carson Wentz's development, he needs a guy who can turn around and hand the ball off to and take some of the pressure off of him. And I'm not saying LeGarrette Blount is Adrian Peterson, but he's a very respectable back in this league who has proven he can move the chains. I think that's going to go a long way towards helping that offense take another step forward.
All right, we've got 70% to work with as we narrow it down to the Giants and Cowboys. Eli Manning still at the helm with the New York Giants. 23% the over-under here.
That's too low.
Too low?
That's too low. I really like this team. I like what they were able to do defensively last year. Landon Collins, Janoris Jenkins.
Right?
Where do you come up with that number?
37.
I think it's a great number. Also, now you add Evan Ingram.
Adrian Peterson's going to play.
Evan Ingram and Brandon Marshall. I think this team, which gave the Dallas Cowboys troubles last year, will give them trouble again. I think right now, if you look at talented from top to bottom, this is the most talented team in the division, a team with proven win at quarterback. I look for them to win the division.
More talented than this team right here?
Yes.
At least on paper?
Yes,
Interesting.
they are.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm with Ryan here. I'm not at 37, but I'm at 30%, and I like this football team because look on the defensive side of the ball, I think at all three levels they've got some playmakers. I think the only thing that really holds the Giants back right now is the fact that they don't really have a running game that can balance out this offense because from a weaponry standpoint, when you look at guys like Evan Ingram coming out in the draft from Ole Miss, and then you have guys like Brandon Marshall, this is a team that really should lead the league in total passing yards.
Without a doubt.
They should lead the league in passing yards because there's just too many guys that they can throw to who present way too many matchup problems. They got so many different body types, big and strong with Brandon Marshall, a guy who can work the middle of the field, and Evan Ingram, who has 4.4 speed, Odell Beckham Jr., Sterling Shepard. It's ridiculous the weapons that they have there.
Well, it's such an interesting situation in Dallas because we had these rookie sensations sort of burst onto the scene. I certainly wouldn't call them one-hit wonders, but you do wonder what that sophomore situation will look like with these two. But with that, I'll say, what about the Dallas Cowboys? I mean, I can sort of do the math.
Yeah, well, you're very smart. We couldn't do the math yesterday, so I'm just going to write it in.
You should have let her put the number.
I know, she's so smart, you know what I mean?
I didn't say that. I said I could do this
Look at me. I'm Wendy Niggs. I'm super smart. I was homecoming queen 3 times. Look at this team, though. And talking about the Dallas Cowboys, obviously you talked about the rookie sensations, Ezekiel Elliott, Dak Prescott. I expect them to be very good this year as well, but I just don't think they get over the hump the way they did last year. They won't be surprising people, and things have changed.
Will there be some sort of market correction, if you will? Will they level off's the wrong word, but is it unfair to assume they will have that kind of production when they weren't expected?
Yeah, I don't think it's unfair as long as they're wired the right way, Wendy, and they're not kind of resting on their laurels. And this team doesn't strike me on that side of the ball as being one that'll be that way. I'm going to put them at 40%. I think everything for the Dallas Cowboys in terms of improvement and winning the East will be about the defense here, and it'll be about the secondary because it's going to get turned over totally.
Yeah.
So you need some of the young guys to really kind of step up here. Byron Jones has to be the ringleader there. Chidobe Awuzie, who they drafted in the second round, has to come on and play some ball. The offense will hold their own. Defense has to step up.
Well, we've done this exercise all week, so if you go by the numbers, it turns out this is one of the more intriguing divisions to watch. So who wins the NFC East? We will find out in about, 6 months? I can't do